be the light and shine like a beacon. You see all my posts, how I preach like a deacon. These white people shocked by the books I be reading. Black people shocked by the message I'm preaching. I'm dropping the facts and they say that I'm reaching. Dumbass.
What's good, world? It's your boy, Maserati Supa. Hey! And we in Dallas, Texas. At least for this story. And as a 2K sports journalist, I must say I'm excited. We're covering an area where some of my own roots come from. Southeast Dallas, Texas. Also known as Pleasant Grove. I know you've heard of guys like Corey Cash, Rajon Carr. But we're gonna go to Skyline High School. Go right up the street around the corner. 6A basketball, where academics meets athleticism. See, Skyline had a history and a track record, not to say to be the best, but they competed with the best. And that's what makes this story so interesting. See, the man of the hour in this story, his name is Dwayne Jenkins. Just finished his sophomore season, a Dallas native, son of a waste management worker, and a high school math teacher. Don't ask. But see, he comes from good stock. His pops played AAU basketball and high school basketball with Kenyon Martin back in the day. Must be a South Oak Cliff thing, I don't know. But when you have the right connections, and a little bit of determination and the will to win, hey, the right doors can open up for you. You know what I mean? So anywho, we're at this EYBL tournament here. You got some of the best campmates going against each other. You got a guy that's unranked, undersized, shutting down everybody from point guard to the 7-foot bigs. And let's not get started on the weight room. That just speaks for itself. So the good part is his hard work was paying off, as he was unranked, unknown, but respected by his teammates and his campmates, not to mention the coaches. Thought he was 6'7", come to find out he was 6'8". See, when you're an undersized big, it's a dog-eat-dog world. Because every time you step on the floor, you got something to prove. You know? So you block everything you can reach, and you make every crossover count. And when it's time to finish, you finish with authority. So he walked into that camp a relative nobody. By the time he left, all eyes were on him. Defensive player of the camp and MVP. And it was like just like that overnight. The narrative changed. That moment right there sparked everything. Because heading into his junior season, as his confidence rose, so did his game. You see, every great team is tested. And sooner or later, you find out who you really are. So for Skyline, that moment came on the road in New Jersey. A matchup with the #1 team on the East Coast, the Camden Panthers. They had size, they had athletes, and they did not disappoint. They had big men putting people on posters nightly. And then they had DJ Wagner, son of former NBA guard Dwayne Wagner. And on this night, he was in full control, at least for the first half. But then something shifted. It's like somebody had seen enough. His name, Dwayne Jenkins. And in the second half, he completely took over the game. Big shot after big shot, defensive stop, block after block, turning defense into offense. And frankly, in my opinion, that's what leaders do, right? They don't wait, they respond, execute. They take control. They make it count. They stay consistent. They lift everyone around them. And just like that, a run. 10 unanswered. The momentum, it flips. And as for the big man, Troy Brown, an all-state receiver, his dunk changed the entire game, at least what was left of it. Dwayne ended up finishing with 40 points, 10 rebounds, and a presence that couldn't be ignored. Because when it comes to Stony Point out of Austin, Texas, the #1 team in that region, yeah, something had to change. See, on one eventful Friday night, Skyline came in and started raising all types of problems, like real problems. Now their star, Torrey St. Julian, he wasn't there to start the game. He's coming back from a school trip, something tech related, Tesla maybe. And you gotta wonder, why now? Why on a night like this? College scouts watching in attendance. Nobody really knew. But what we did know, his younger brother Joey was getting cooked. First half, it wasn't pretty. Skyline was rolling, hitting from everywhere. By halftime, the lead was big, 20 plus. So when the second half started and Torrey finally walked in, you're thinking, it's too late. Game over. Now, here's why. He's the #1 shooting guard in the state of Texas. So because what happens next, you can't really teach it. You just witness it. It's like he started scoring at will. He did, literally. Right hand, left hand, didn't matter. Crossovers, step backs, hesitations, getting to the rim whenever he wanted. Even with our big men in front of him, switch off to the point guard, it didn't matter. It felt more like he was in control, like a bully taking over on the court. So even though we were hitting shots, they had a comeback going. And it was like once they started, there was nothing they can do. Moved the ball patiently to the point where Dwayne had to start shooting threes to keep the game up. When your big man has to shoot threes, that's a problem. So even though Skyline tried to answer, it wasn't enough. See, this guy was going straight to the University of Texas. Already committed at the beginning of the junior year, and now you see why. So even though Troy Brown finished with a team-high 30 points, it wasn't enough. These guys came back from 25 down. And in the final moments, it came down to this. Joey St. Julian, the same player who struggled early, drives through 3 defenders and finishes. Game over. No explanations, just a tough pill to swallow. It be like that sometimes. So for Skyline and the entire city of Dallas, the next morning everybody was talking about it. And I mean everybody. So you can imagine that loss, it did something to them. Not in the way you might think. They didn't fall apart. They didn't go on some losing streak, no. They responded. Blowout after blowout. 30-point wins after 30-point wins. See, because when you lose a game like that, it either breaks you or it changes you. And for Skyline, it changed everything. And I mean everything. See, their star shooting guard, Ty Slaughter, against North Dallas STEM Academy, he dropped 40 points like it was nothing. The way he moves with ease is like how he does in the football field. But see, on the other end, you got Dwayne Jenkins. Came in dropping 23 points, 15 rebounds. He was everywhere. See, that things started to click within this team. And as far as Mr. Jenkins, he was arriving, stepping into his role. Not just as a power forward, standing 6'8", almost 220 pounds, playing like a grown man, like an upperclassman, even though he wasn't. Now, in the rest, they couldn't match it. See, this guy had, as far as the rest of the competition is concerned, in his class, University of North Texas, SMU, San Angelo State, pretty much every mid-major program you could think of was starting to eye this kid out. He was on the radar officially. The phones were ringing. Now, as far as Ty Slaughter, 5'11" starting shooting guard, All-American quarterback, yeah. Jeremy McLeod, sharpshooter, headed to Oklahoma. So he was surrounded by senior leadership, which only made his game a lot better. It was a group effort with expectations. And at this point, as you can see, with Troy Brown, 6'5" big man, a football star headed to Oklahoma State. Everything was in sync. Nothing but a breeze. But that second round was different. One win, you're playing for a championship. Lose, and it's all over. And from the start, you could feel it. The intensity, the pressure, but also the moments. Pump fake. Behind the back, crossover, gather, power step, tomahawk with authority. Those kind of plays that build a scouting report, if you ask me. But what do I know? I'm just a 2K sports journalist. But on the other side, Frederick Douglass Academy. As hard as Skyline fought, it wasn't enough. So even with Dwayne Jenkins dropping 30 points, 10 rebounds, 8 blocks, Ty Slaughter, 23 points. The effort wasn't an issue. Execution was an issue. Sometimes the game slips out your hands, and in that moment, it didn't feel like the players decided it. It felt like somebody else did. And just like that, it wasn't just a loss anymore, it was a story, a headline, a moment. Everybody had an opinion on it. From Dallas to Austin, San Antonio, everybody was talking. What went wrong? Who was to blame? Were the refs cheating? And what it meant moving forward. But hey, you live and you learn, right? It's part of the game. But on the bright side, Team USA and every major college was knocking at this young man's door. UCLA, North Carolina, Kansas, Alabama, Oregon, Michigan, Indiana, Duke, you name it, they were asking. But he really wanted to go to Cincinnati, but his Uncle Kenyon told him, no, you can do better than that. And now, the stage got bigger, much bigger. Team USA, under 18. The best from everywhere. Somehow he was the only one without a commitment, no school, no decision, just talent. And like a free agent with the whole country watching. See, it was that game against South Africa. It was like from the opening tip, there was a lot of trash talking. So he made a statement, attacking the rim, finishing through the contact like it was a sheet of paper. Making grown competition look small. On the fast break, elevating and throwing it down again and again with acrobatic, explosive slams. He was separating himself from everybody else on the floor. But it was that moment against Canada. The big man destined for the league, standing in the paint, getting punched on. Tomahawk right over the top. One-handed. It was like he just went up with no hesitation, no fear. See, that's the thing. If you really watched that season, you'd understand this wasn't the same player. Different mindset, different presence. He wasn't just a star anymore. He was a leader. And from the opening tip, you can tell he wasn't there to play. He was there to take over. And after dropping 50 points on Duncanville like it was nothing, and then Stony Point, let's just say they remembered that trip to Dallas. But Marshall, they thought it would be different, you know, new roster, they lost some seniors, maybe they're soft now. That's what they thought. And then he locked eyes with the big man. There was no words, just a look that said, I'm coming for you. And he meant it. Full court pressure, guarding everything, blocking shots, owning the paint with post moves, leading to posterizing slams. It didn't matter who you were. You were coming off the bench, an innocent freshman. Nobody was safe, just pure dominance. Spin move off the, oh my goodness gracious. It's on your head, sir. No apologies. You got to play basketball to win, especially in the state of Texas. And see, what made it worse is he can handle the ball almost like a guard. So it's not even talk about passing when you're averaging almost 10 assists a game. But at this point, what else could you say? Heading into the state tournament, 28-1, and every big man in the state of Texas, they knew they were next, because when you're averaging 6 blocks a game, and I'll admit, he had help. A young core, a lot of underclassmen, but they bought in, they followed his lead, and you got a shooter like Trey Parker, junior transfer in the corner, a knockdown who doesn't miss. And it made everything easier for the kid, for a player like him. When it came down to that first round matchup against Lake Highland, who had a similar record as them, it was almost like last year. It got tight, real tight. You could feel it in the building. The same question. Is history about to repeat itself? But this time it was different. Dwayne steps into the moment, catches it, rises from deep, and lets it fly. And in overtime, he repeated the process. No pressure. It was like a drill, pull-up jumper, ball game.
Pop this shit, let's go.
That's what winners do. And after a quick stop, 30-point blowout. Oak Ridge out of Houston didn't even stand a chance. So then the moment arrived, finally. The game everybody was waiting for. Lights on, cameras rolling everywhere you look, ESPN streams across Texas. All eyes on one game. Dallas Skyline, Stony Point. A rivalry bigger than basketball. For over 30 years, these two programs have been facing each other. To the death every time, but with mutual respect, of course. And from the opening tip, you could sense the intensity back and forth. Possession after possession, there was no room for error. No easy buckets. You see, Torrey St. Julian didn't waste any time. Dwayne Jenkins was reading the floor looking for his options. And of course, he found his guy, Trey Parker. He was ready. With the lanes open, he was attacking, exploding at the rim with acrobatic finishes. And then another, just like that. Timeout started getting called. The adjustments had to be made because whatever Stony Point came in with, it wasn't working. At least not early, not against him. And then the matchup everybody came to see, Dwayne Jenkins and Torrey St. Julian, full court. No space, no breathing room. Every step just contested, every move challenged. 6'8", 6'9", guarding a shooting guard. And not backing down. But they switched it up. So they tried to bring his little brother in and try something different. But it didn't matter. Screen rotation, somebody's still open. And you can see it. Torrey started feeling it too, that pressure, that frustration. And here's the thing, players like that, they don't go away because you give them a sliver of space and it's just, there they go. Still can't figure out if this guy's left-handed or right-handed, by the way, but sometimes you just can't tell the difference, you know? And that's the beauty of it, the danger of it. And in a game like this, you never really know what's coming next. You could call it a clash of titans. Two players, best in their class, at their position. Every possession, it felt like a statement. And early on, it got physical. Whistles starting to come into play. Some calls questionable, and because of that, Dwayne had to adjust. See, so Stony Point, they went right at him. Joey, he was attacking the rim again and again, trying to take advantage. But every time Dwayne answered, pull up, 3-ball, tie game. He was locked in. And on defense, he was tightening up. Joey had to work for everything. You see, Torrey, he found a rhythm. As Dwayne was having a tough time mentally dealing with the fact that refs weren't calling anything, and just before halftime, he takes one step, rises, goes for a right-handed tomahawk, and the arena explodes. So when the third quarter began, you could see it. Dwayne changes his approach. Less force, more control, getting his teammates involved. Trusting the system, and slowly the game starts to tilt. Isaac Thomas gets the block. That's Dallas basketball. Tough, physical, guys built like football players playing on a hardwood floor. Defensive stalwarts, trying to dribble against them. Felt like hitting a brick wall. But as for Stony Point, they had to regroup, And as the third quarter was coming to an end, you couldn't tell who was going to win this game. It was that tight. And everything mattered. And to their credit, they executed it perfectly. Ran the offense to the letter. Ball swings, shots going up. But then this one moment happened. A freshman playing hard, but not thinking, forcing the issue, getting an offensive foul. And next you know, he's fouled out. So what's that do? Give Dwayne a chance to operate. Then Dwayne decided to make a statement. Crossover going downhill with the pump underneath hanging in the air for the reverse tomahawk. Explosive, if you ask me. So that kind of dunk, it changes the feel of the game. Makes everybody stop just for a second, But on the other end, Stony Point, they were searching for answers. Jacking up threes, one after another. Nothing clean, nothing easy, because that defense was locked in. Rotations tight, contests everywhere, every shot, it felt forced. Torrey had to fight for every good look. And so did Dwayne, but they were double teaming, but once again, Trey Parker was ready. And even though Joey did a great job defensively, he was just outmatched and overworked. But Dwayne was giving him everything he had. Now, I know it may seem that Skyline was winning the game, but in actuality, they were behind, which is why Dwayne was playing the way he was playing. And when the final minute came, he shot a desperation 3. putting them just under 1 point. And with Torrey St. Julian found open in the corner, it was a make it or break it shot. 30 seconds left in the game, coming up short, allowing Isaac Thomas to get the rebound, pushing the ball up the floor to Trey Parker. With a shifty crossover, going for the floater, putting them up by 1 point. Skyline basketball. And with Stony Point scrambling, they gave it to their star. And with 10 seconds left in the game, Torrey did what he did best. Silencing the entire city of Dallas. Like I said, I don't know if he's left-handed or right-handed, but you tell me. But that wasn't it. There was no timeouts left. And with 7 seconds left, Dwayne did what he did best. He took the shot. And it goes in. And just like that, they're state champions. I wish I could say it was AI, but hey, this is life. The moments we live for in the game of basketball, right? Oh, and you know he was quick to say something to them dirty refs to let them know, hey, blow that whistle now. The champs are here. Not only was he a champion, he was awarded the Texas 6A Player of the Year and a McDonald's All-American, winning the slam dunk contest, I might add, just to add to the few trophies he had on the wall. The good part is he ended up signing with the University of Alabama. 4-year scholarship, $2.5 million NIL deal. Doesn't get any better than that if you ask me. So stay tuned for the next episode and the story of Dwayne Jenkins. It'll be on What's Up Sal's next story.